What's up? It's your boy AJ back with Daily Sports Talk. Uh, Good day of basketball, and we're here about to discuss. So let's just dive straight into it. Some good games last night, actually. Um, some really good games. We had one game postponed, Celtics Bulls, but I was okay with the games because we'll start out the night with this banger of a game. Could be a future playoff battle with Miami Heat and Philadelphia. The Heat were without Bam and Dragic and Jimmy Butler, so they're three of their starters. But for them, it didn't really matter last night because they came out on a mission to prove that they're a team of all teams, and they're battling against the Philadelphia 76ers, who were number one in the league up to that point. 137 to 134, game went into overtime, and the 76ers took that game. Philly came out hitting very early in the game. They were just dominating. Joel Embiid's footwork, he's so, his footwork for a big man is just out of this world. He's extremely good with his back to the basket. He was dominant all game long. The sorry, feeling a little under the weather. But the 76ers last night, they were just annihilating the Heat in the paint. The Heat didn't have their big man, Bam. That's their main guy. They had Linux, but he doesn't really play well in the paint. He wants to be a guard because he likes to shoot a lot. But he played a pretty good game. But the 76ers down the stretch, it looked like something was going wrong with the 76ers internally. It looked like there was some type of problem. I'm not sure what it was, but they ended up finishing the game okay. He had a big second quarter, but in the second half they just couldn't stop Joel. He was just dominating all second half and overtime. He was huge in the fourth quarter and overtime. Hero he was really big for the Miami Heat. He had a big shot and 1 3, but Joel had to answer for it, and like I said, he was just the best player last night. We're gonna get to the MVP race later on, but as you can see, his name is back up on #1. He was just different. He's a problem. 76ers looked good. They looked really good. Look, the Heat had all 5 of their starters in double digits. Duncan Robinson played well. 6 threes last night. He was hitting shots when they needed it to. And but the 76ers, for them to be in a game with the Miami Heat without 3 of their main players was a little concerning. They only won by 3 in overtime, again with those 3 missing. So looking back, it probably is a little bit of a problem. They need to address some things. But 6 starters for the 6 players for the 76ers in double digits, that'll work. They were down Ferguson, Bradley. They had a couple people out, but nothing like the Miami Heat did. Miami Heat were missing Avery Bradley. So for Miami Heat, even though you took their loss, it's a lot that you can take from this game against a very good team where you put up a fight. So kudos to the Heat for staying in it, but the Philadelphia Sixers won that game 137 to 134. Joel Embiid had 45, 16, and 4. He was a monster. Next game of the night was the Nets in Denver. For me, the Nets came out slow, and I was thinking like, here we go with the Nets. Something's wrong. I saw a couple posts on Instagram and Twitter talking about there's some problems that the Nets are having internally with KD and this and that. But last night, whatever problems they had, I'm sure they're gone now because KD showed up to play last night. The first half, they were outscored in both first and second quarters to the Nuggets. The Nuggets were firing, hitting shots. They started slow, but in the third quarter they came out to a 24-4 start, and they were just playing tenacious defense. And their defense turned to offense. They were pushing the ball, fast break points, getting out quick, and the Nuggets couldn't stop them once they started rolling. And then Grim Reaper came alive in the fourth quarter. He hit, I think, back-to-back shots. He hit a little through the lane, a little fadeaway jump shot right at the left corner at the elbow. And then to put him up 6 from 119 to 122. He hit a dagger three. Pull up, water. He's the ultimate band-aid for any team. There's no, you can't do nothing with him. But if he's hitting, you can't stop it. So he was big for them last night. But I was really watching Jokic on the opposite side because I wanted to see kind of big game versus big game. Who played better, Jokic or Joel Embiid when it came down to it? And Jokic was hitting last night. They couldn't stop Jokic. He was getting whatever he wanted as well. But he just didn't seem to take the game over the same way that Joel Embiid. Now, I give it to you, the Nets are, right now, or in that circumstance last night, they didn't have Kyrie, of course, but they did have KD. They were closer to full health, so it was a little bit, degree of difficulty was a little higher for Jokic, but center to center, footwork to footwork, shot to shot, right now Joel Embiid is looking like the better center. So I was keeping a close eye on that matchup, but he just couldn't. KD was just, he took over, 34, 13, and 9, 1 rebound shy of a triple-double. He did what he was supposed to do. That's why they have him on that team. The Nets were a good team before he got there. They were in the playoffs without Kyrie. They're a good, solid team unit, and Kyrie makes them great, and then KD makes them unstoppable, puts them over the top. So he did what he was supposed to do, and he got him that win. So kudos to KD for that one. 34, 13, and 9. Let's go on to the next game. The Lakers Rockets. Let's do the Jazz Cavs first. Jazz Cavs. Mitchell had 27, 4, and 3. He's coming back to life. He's always so reliable. You can always count on him for around 20 to 25 points. He makes plays for his teammates. He could get a little better with his assist numbers. Not saying he's not a good shooter, but if he develops a more constant shot like he did his rookie year where people were afraid of him shooting, I'm starting to see he'll take those shots, but it's more dribble to shoot rather than, catch and shoot or create space for his other teammates like Steph kind of does. Now of course Steph can dribble shoot, but what I'm saying is the shot that Mitchell takes now is a little different than his rookie year when he won the award. So he needs to be able to facilitate to his teammates better, and I think a lot of it has to do with himself and how is he a threat to open up his other teammates. So, but he played good last night. He's been playing good so far. The Jazz are number 2. Yeah, they're number 2 right now in the rankings. Nobody's really talking about it, but they're quietly number 2. They're just playing great defense, team defense. They're long. They can score. And they play team ball. They pass the ball. They find a good shot. They shot 53% from the three-point line last night. That'll get it done. They had 5 players in double digits. 4 49 points off the bench. That'll definitely get it done. And it was a bad team in the Cavs. They're starting to turn back to the Cavs that we know, but he shot the way that they control the game with their defense, their pace, and their ability to score efficiently. They make teams have to shoot themselves back into the game. The Cavs tried to, and they weren't successful. They couldn't hit any shots. They were 25% from the three, 39 from the field, and it was just bye bye. What did he say? I don't know what the expression is, but they got trashed. 117-87. Easy win for the Utah Jazz last night. Let's go back to that Lakers-Rockets game. James Harden had the press conference. I'm sure everybody saw the press conference. But I was saying that last week. I've been saying it since he threw the ball at his teammate. They need to get rid of James Harden. He just nobody wants to be there around him when he's the main guy, but he doesn't want to be there. So everything is evolved around him, but he's not giving the effort into it. So it's just like, what are we wasting our time for? John Wall spoke out, said it's only 9 games in, but for me, I understand it's 9 games in, but if he doesn't want to be there, and I told you, they don't win games if James Harden does not go bonkers in the game. And you've seen it. I think one game they won, I forgot who it was against, and he had a decent stat line, it was like 22 points or something like that. But that's because he was aggressive in the first half, and he was driving and kicking and getting people wide open shots, and they were hitting them. But when you go against good teams, or even mid teams, James Harden has to go bonkers for you to win, or you're not gonna win. And what did he have last night? I mean, the Lakers. Come on, we know what the Lakers stand for. Defending champs. James Harden had 16 points. You're not gonna win. You're the Rockets. You're not gonna win when James Harden goes for 16. You just won't. They're just not good enough outside of James Harden to do it. John Wall's not good enough to do it. He would have done it in Washington. Christian Wood's a good complementary player, but he's nowhere near the top 30 in the league.